You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Hey entrepreneurs, it's your Podcast Mogul Phil Better here. I am excited for this episode as I know you are. Before we jump into this episode, I'm going to ask you if you are also a podcaster and you're looking to grow your podcast or monetize your podcast, make sure you stay till the end of the episode. I have a special deal for you, or a special offer, if you will. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's jump into the episode.
Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he interviews successful entrepreneurs that make their living in the digital world. Now, let's join your host, Phil Better, and his special guest. Today on Invest in Yourself,
I am, of course, the Podcast Mogul Phil Better, and today I am excited to have another amazing guest for you today. They are an autism advocate, motivational speaker, author, and founder of CrazyFitnessGuy. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Jimmy Clare. Jimmy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Jimmy, what got you? I want to know a bit more about you. I know you're a motivational speaker, author, and you founded CrazyFitnessGuy, but what led you there? Like, what made you decide to go down that road?
Well, what made me got to the road was there was a lot of people when I was growing up told me I wasn't going to amount to anything in my life. I wouldn't be able to cook, clean, read higher than a second grade level. I wouldn't amount to anything, and that just kind of fueled my fire from the beginning, and it kind of and it also came about because people weren't listening to me growing up. Like, let me give you an example.
Please.
In 11th grade, I didn't yet know I was autistic until after high school, but I kind of sensed something made me different in 11th grade when I got invited to my IEP meeting, which stands for Individual Educational Plan. And during that meeting, well, before that meeting, I was told I cannot speak at my own meeting. I was like, there's a meeting about me, right? And I was like, no, you're not allowed to speak there. I was like, some of these, let's say, administrative staff who works in the admin building, they do all the talking, and you just sit there and listen. So then why the hell did I get an invite if I can't speak at my own meeting? And
Makes sense.
And so I remember I was totally pissed off about that. And I was so pissed off because I also missed my art class because I was really passionate about art. And I was like, Brad, we could have had this during like some other boring class that I could care less about, but because art. And so the bottom line, like fast forward, I mean, like, but then because I complained so much to them afterwards, it finally took them in 12th grade to invite me back to my own meeting where I can actually speak. And I'm like, oh, now you want to listen to me. So I just like, hmm. And it's like, so fast forward. So that's where I am today, is because I want to speak up for others who can't speak for themselves or are afraid to speak because they're different, or speak out because no one will listen to them.
I love that. I love that you're championing the little guy, helping out the ones that may not be able to use their voice to the effect they can. And I commend you. That's why I wanted you on this show, mainly because you are someone that is championing for the little guys, and I always do like to help them out, because without the little guys, we wouldn't be where we are today. We were all once little at some point until we found our passion in that. I want to know, how did you go from, being standing up talking for yourself in high school to founding and creating Crazy Fitness Guy?
So when I was mm, at the start of college, I was going into personal training, and I eventually went away from that path because I said, I don't need one more. There doesn't need to be one more health and wellness website out there, because if you think about it, like so far, I think in total I've done 8 or 9 different workout programs, and pretty much all the moves are the same. They just call it a different name. And
Yeah.
it's like, and maybe there might be a small modification, just a little bit, add something a little extra or take away something a little extra. But it's like, pretty much everything is just the same. It's like, there's nothing else you can do. So I was like, okay. And plus, math and science are not my specialty. And for those people who think they know everything about autism, well, the experts say, oh, people with autism and they like math and science and they excel in it. It's like, well, some excel in it. Others absolutely truly hate it like I do. And I think the reason I absolutely hate science is because I had this teacher in high school, and it was just dreadfully boring. It was what was it? It was some kind of science. It was about plants and everything, and it was so dreadfully boring. I could have watched paint dry or watched the grass grow, and it would have been more fun.
I think we've all had teachers like that. I know I can speak from experience. I've had some dreadful teachers.
And then, but then when I and in when I took my first English class in college, my English teacher told me the only way to become a better writer is to write every single day. And that really dawned on me, because I'm like, what could I possibly do to write every single minute, like every single day? Because you know how many, because if I wrote just on a piece of paper, you know how often I'm going to do that? Zippo. And then if it was a Google Doc or a Word document, I won't come back to it. I might start something, but I know I probably won't finish it or won't continue, because who is this helping me? Who's this helping? Not me, not anyone else, just me. So it started off as a self-improvement project, but then I was like, okay, I'm going to create my own website. First mistake I ever made was starting with WordPress. And it was a big fluster crap, because let's just say one plugin didn't work with this plugin didn't work with this plugin. And then the hosting companies, not going to name any names, but some of them charge by page views. So I mean, I didn't get to this point yet, but let's say if I got to 20,000 page views. It's like, well, then you have to go up to the next tier in pricing. I'm like, wait, I just did all that work and you want me to charge me extra by page views? It's like, that's extortion. And it's like, it should just be a flat fee. And hey, here's your yearly thing. But instead of charging me extra because I got a bunch of page views and readers, bunch of page views and readers doesn't mean that they're buying from me. So that's just ridiculous. And plus, I didn't like that some of their plugins were managed by third-party people. So there's no quality control over it. So it's like, oh, well, this plugin is sold by an X developer, and X developer doesn't give any refunds. And I actually had a developer who, let's just say, screwed me out of for money.
It's never fun.
Unfortunately for that person, he lives in New Jersey. So okay, oh, you're one state over from me. I was like, try maybe steal from me from Canada because I want to put that guy out of business.
Well, yeah. So, what is Crazy Fitness Guy? What is the crux of it for my audience to understand?
So, basically, Crazy Fitness Guy is a motivational place for people on and off the autism spectrum to learn more about autism and motivate them to be a place where it's okay to be different. It's embrace your differences, and you don't have to check off check off the boxes for certain people and certain organizations to be a part of. I always thought that being different was a bad thing. But then when I started my own business, I was like, how can I make myself a lot different than compared to everyone else? What is somebody not doing? And I haven't seen many organizations do this to be, it's okay to be different. Yes, there's autism resources out there. And I was like, okay, we're just focusing on autism. I focus on autism, fitness, healthy living, lifestyle, self-care, self-help, managing stress, etc. I've had so many different guests on my live stream. I think over 100 now, maybe 70. I lost count. And on so far there's like 42 or 43 podcast episodes available publicly. And it's been I had motivational speakers, personal trainers, authors. Currently, at some time in October, I'm having a pop musician come on because she reached the top 40 Billboard. And I'm not gonna say who this celebrity is that may be coming on next month, but let's just say someone may be coming on some celebrities might be coming on my live stream. I'm going to say podcast episode because I only do my live stream a certain time of the week, either Thursday nights as a special time or Friday, like 4 o'clock-ish, or a weekend if I really, really have to. But I don't know if it's going to be live or not. But I'm looking forward to the guest because let's just say, I'm going to give a little hint. It's from one of my favorite shows.
Wow. Oh, that's a big experience. I know what it was like landing one of the guests that were a highlight of mine on this podcast. So I can only imagine what you're going like when you're going to be able to have them on your show and talk all that fun stuff. I would like to know, with someone who is autistic, looking to get into building their own business or starting their own blog or starting their own community to help someone, would you have a tip for them?
I have many tips. Let me. Where do I start? Should I get my big list of squirrels out?
No, let's do something a little simpler for them. Like, let's not try to overwhelm them with all the knowledge that you have, so that they can come to you for more advice. But let's talk about like one specific tip for them to get started.
Okay. My my most important advice that I can give you is do not follow the trend of, hey, you should start on WordPress. And I'm not bashing WordPress because I'm not. It just, when I started, I mean, I come from a very technical background. My dad used to manage IT. My name was working in corporate business. And some of my aunts and uncles, most of my uncles were pretty good at technology, but then also like my brother taught me everything he knew, my dad taught me everything he knew. Then I went multiple steps above them. Now they come to me for advice, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt thing. Eh, But uh, uh, but what I would say is don't follow the trend because I remember I'm in a few, let's just say I've been in a few Facebook groups who every time it's like, hey, everybody, I want to know which platform should I start on? That's the wrong type of question because everybody I've seen, about like 100 people would comment and say, WordPress, 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 WordPress. I'm like, yawn, yawn, yawn. Wait until this person pulls his hair out or their hair out, because I was working 90 plus hours a week figuring out which plugin didn't work, which hosting company, why my site is going down multiple times a week. There's like, oh, we have 99.9% uptime. Oh, yeah, you go hide behind that. Uh, yeah. And like, if it went down like multiple times a week, how's that 99.9% uptime? And it was like 99.9% uptime is like every like 6 months, maybe once every 6 months, maybe if that. But holy crap, just hide behind that. Cool. So
So yeah, be wary of working with WordPress is your tip, and I think that's a great tip, because WordPress is, maybe get a one page with WordPress and then move on when you can make some money to a bigger and better thing. You have here the book that you recommend is 1% More. Why is that a book that you think entrepreneurs should read?
well, because well, I just finished reading the book like a few weeks ago, I believe. I read a lot of books. It's I forget how long time ago when I finished it, but the reason I like it is because they break. I know the author behind it. I actually had him on my show twice. There's another episode that hasn't been out yet, but uh, he's uh, he breaks down stuff in very manageable details. I mean, not details, manageable steps to make so you can implement it in your own life and do 1% more and do something to better yourself and help others and go that extra mile. So like, oh, I'm burning myself out by doing this. And I like the manageable steps in it, and they give you like different key takeaways at the end of it. So it's not just like, hey, here's my story, here's an entrepreneurial life story and whatnot. But at the end of each section of the book, they give you say, hey, remember to do this. You could do this, or you can do that, and it just kind of. I just like how they breaks it down to manageable stuff, because sometimes so many books just overcrowd you. For instance, this might not be the best example, but like I never was a fan of the Lord of the Rings books because they give you so much gosh darn detail, and it's like it's one piece of grass, dude. And you don't need to do this anymore.
No, I can understand. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings books are sometimes a slog to get through, but they are for us Lord of the Rings fans, it is a fun read. But yes, no, I'm definitely going to be checking out the 1% more. I like also like actionable advice, and it breaks down the whole chapter in bite-sized chunks for you. So thank you very much for that recommendation. Um, in your journey so far with the motivational speaking, being a podcast, writing a book, and of course, founding Crazy Fitness Guy, an amazing blog for and resource, do you have a memory of that just stuck out to cement why you do what you do?
Ooh, I have many memories. Let's see. Hmm, hmm, hmm. It's hard to pick one. Uh, okay, I'm gonna go with this one. So last year, I finally got the courage uh to well, I'm not gonna give the name away of the podcast because that one might just give away my guest celebrity. But but I was on one of my favorite shows. They have their One of my favorite shows has their own podcast, and I was and I was certain I heard one episode. I mean, multiple episodes, but one of their episodes that I listened to had two guest people on the show. I'm like, this is like their first guest appearance. And it's like, oh, I wonder if they do guest appearances. And I was like, I'm kind of nervous. And it's like two celebrities who's hosting the show. What's the possibility of me getting on there? And I was nervous because they're like two of my favorite celebrities of all time. I mean, not in a weird way, like stalking.
No, you enjoy their content. Yes, I
Yeah.
understand.
And I was nervous because like, well, what Hollywood actor would want to talk to me on their show on this particular platform? As And so I finally got the courage to tweet to them and say, I'm not going to expect anything because, it's Twitter. And I probably won't be even seen. I got a message from that person the next day. I'm like, I think I screamed like a little girl too. And, and so I told her my story, how I watched the show so many times. I at the time when I pitched it, I watched it 111 times, and she's and so she told me to get in touch with their scheduler, gave me the person's email address. I did the same exact pitch. Few weeks later, I got another email. This is like, we want you on the show. I'm like, I think I definitely scream like a high-pitched girl, and I think my neighbors heard me too.
I could only imagine having that big win and that getting. I can't wait to hear the guests that you have on your podcast and how awesome that episode's going to be. But we are coming to the end of the episode, Jimmy. So we're going to jump out and get the spark question. Let's spark some conversations between strangers, because the stranger's just a friend you haven't met yet. So I want to know, Jimmy, if you could look into the future, what would you want to know?
I would like to know if I would be a huge public motivational speaker on stages all over the world, like Tony Robbins, Lewis Howes. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Awesome. I love that. Jimmy, I'm going to jump off stage here. I want you to let my audience know where they can connect with you, how they can follow and support you in your journey as an entrepreneur. The floor, sir, is yours.
So you can follow me on the best way to follow me is go to CrazyFitnessGuy.com. I have one too many social media platforms, and the best way you can support Crazy Fitness Guy is getting some swag in the swag shop, listen to the podcast, watching the live stream, etc. Oh, and becoming a premium podcast subscriber for $3.99 a month, $30 a year. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Jimmy, I want to thank you so much for coming on and being a guest today. I loved hearing about your journey and where you want to go with Crazy Fitness Guy. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
To my audience to my audience listening and watching, remember, check out the show notes down below, because that's where you can find all the links to Jimmy and, of course, Crazy Fitness Guy to support him. So make sure you go ahead and do that. And remember always to invest in yourself.
Hey, digital entrepreneurs, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Now, if you're looking to take your podcast to the next level, like most of these entrepreneurs have taken their business to the next level, to scale it, if you will, make sure you check out my brand new newsletter. Links are down below. It is called the Monetization Mogul Syndicate newsletter, or it could be Phil Better Stories of Monetization Moguls, or Making Moguls is what I do. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. But I want to thank you very much for listening. And as always, remember to invest in yourself.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.